Absolutely. The other thing that they did is they went into the school systems. Now again, I'm working. And I'm not opposed to government assistance programs. It's what you do with them and how do you
well, you don't want them to be permanent. I mean, you
Right.
just use the term permanent housing.
Right.
You don't want them to be permanent. You want to have an assistance so
Right.
that then people can go and have the dignity
Right.
and the liberty to live on their own and then to help others.
Right. So because our program was so successful with homelessness, they said, can you do it with hunger? So I became a provider of government-funded school lunch programs in the summer because a lot of the children in the summer don't have adequate healthy meals. And I'll say this, that for example, Michelle Obama had a program for healthy meals for kids, and I commend her for that. The challenge was that again, it's the approach of a free market versus bigger government. I'll never forget going into my government-funded lunch programs where I was feeding 100,000 meals a summer up to, and I walked into one of my feeding sites. And I remember because of her program for more healthy meals, which I supported, there were oranges that the kids had not eaten, and they had piled all these oranges into the trash. And I was going over there and I was pulling them out. Well, we'll save these for later in the day for the kids. And they said, oh no, you can't do that because we are penalized if we don't throw away all the food.
Oh my goodness.
So that was part of the system. Let's get rid of all the food that you could salvage because we want more government assistance to come in. They went into the school systems, and actually what they did is, and I was a part of school lunch programs, school breakfast programs, and bringing them into our city, which were important programs for kids in need because they're going to be a better student. But what they did is they said, well, we don't want to shame all the 80% of kids that don't need the breakfast or the lunch, so let's put all the students on the government assistance
Creating
program.
dependency across the board.
So what happened was that in the school districts today, the greatest income is through USDA. So all school districts today, their biggest income maker is USDA feeding programs. And again, it's free market versus bigger government.
So we've subjected the education of our students to this socialist dream ideal that is really taking from the productive and giving it to everyone else. And then all of a sudden you say, well, why should I be on the productive side? I want to be on the everyone else side. And it just is socialism. It's how it's destroyed Venezuela. It's destroyed every nation it's been part of. We've seen socialism fail.
And let me give you an example of what we did to try to do a free market approach. I took a group of women, 70 to 90 years of age, in the most poor, 11th poorest zip code in the nation. I said, let me show you how through a free market approach, you create a cooperative as opposed to a giveaway food pantry, which is okay. But I said, I would rather you create a system. So I took these women in their 70s and I took them to where food is massively distributed in bulk. And you can buy pallets for like $200. And I showed them, I said, let's take every one of the families, let's put them in a co-op. They pay $5 to $10 a week for every time they want to come, right. And they'll get $70 to $100 worth of groceries because we're buying in bulk. And so they created a system. They're in like their 6th or 7th year now, and they learned how to make profit. They created another day of non-perishables, and so these elderly women are actually meeting the needs of the people. And when we do it in a church, it will actually increase the membership of the local church in the hood to about 100 families extra that you're ministering to.
You've created your own mini Costco with people, 70 to 90-year-old women that then find dignity and purpose in life. You're enhancing the churches. You're feeding the hungry. You're giving them dignity because they're able to pay and participate in this. You're teaching valuable economic lessons. This is such a stark contrast to the idea that we see, well, we're going to have, and I agree with you, food pantries are phenomenal. We support them, we give to them, it's great, but they're not a permanent solution.
Right.